Hi, this is Marcel again, and this is the second battle report against Menoth that I hinted at the end of my last video. I kept my Doomshaper tool list. As usual, I'm running 4 heavies, Rug, Malk, Mauler and Earthborn, and 2 lights, the Exer and the Bouncer, and a unit of Whelps and a Mincriel Stone with Elder as support. My opponent switched his army and is now using High Allegiant Amon Adraza. He's bringing 10 jacks with him, 4 heavies, 6 lights, and he's running this in theme the Creator's Might, which means he gets his upkeeps for free at the beginning of the game, and he also gets most of his support units for free. We're playing this according to the Steamroller 2017 CID rules. We're playing Standoff. Standoff has 2 large round zones to the left and right of the battlefield, 2 large rectangular zones, 1 for each player, containing an objective. He chose the Fuel Cache objective to gain access to Pathfinder. I chose the Stockpile objective to be able to do a little bit more healing on my beasts. He won the roll-off and decided to go first, so I wanted the other side because I didn't want to get stuck between these forests again like I did in the last game with my Mauler. Also, I didn't see the need to hide Doomshaper behind the forest because he has no shooting in his list. And also I wanted access to the shallow water so I could get the Earthborn to +2 defense in case he gets the charge on me. He deploys in a straight line, puts all his jack up front and the caster right in the middle, and all of his support behind that wall of steel. I do basically the same thing. Caster goes into the middle and beasts right and left of it. I only deploy 2 whelps and I plan to use them to contest zones again, and I have 3 whelps that can still be spawned in case any of my beasts get hit. Didn't really use a clock in this game because we already knew that this game wouldn't be ended by clock but by the departure time of our train, so both of us tried to play as fast as possible. Still, I learned something new in this game because my opponent discussed this with me in terms of what questions are we asking our opponent, which is a concept I had heard quite often regarding to Warmachine, but I never actually used it. And in this case, both of our lists basically ask the same question, which is, can you destroy all of this before I steamroll right over you? So I think this is a balanced matchup with similar lists, and I expect to either see a big clash in the middle of the board or quite a lot of piece trading going on. Let's see what happened. So on his first turn he casts mobility and runs everything up, and I'm really amazed at how far up the board he gets with his jacks. The +2 speed from mobility are awesome, and I'm already seeing myself in a defensive position because if he casts that again and charges again or runs everything up, then he will just jam me out of both of the round zones on the left and right. I do my usual first turn, also run everything up, put 4 into the stone and put the upkeep Wild Aggression on Malk so he gets his boosted melee attacks. I stayed out of his threat ranges on both sides. Rug on the left side could be engaged by one of his jacks if he ran them there, but he would just destroy them, so I think he's pretty safe. The Earthborn on the right side could also be engaged by his light jack on the hill, but he could only do 2 or 3 strikes with not too much damage, so I'm not very concerned here. and all his stuff in the middle is out of charge range, so I'm safe here. I would now expect him to try to run everything up and make it impossible for me to get into his zone on my turn. But what he actually does is he moves everything up slightly. He puts his support units on the fringes of the round zones, so he can score there if I do not contest. He moves all of his jacks up, so he will be in charge range next round. And he runs 2 of his dervishes forward on my zone to contest it, and also to block my charge lanes. Amon has also Field Marshal parry. That means his jacks will not get free strikes if they just run in further on the next round, in case I don't deal with these 2 dervishes. Oh, and he also moved up that damn book and cast that no spells in 10 inches spell it has. Luckily Doomshaper is just out of 10 inches, so I can still use him, but none of my beasts can currently use its animus. So I have several problems to work on here. I cannot abandon the right and left zone, because then he will start to score. I need to deal with that book, because if I want to use Doomshaper and move him up, then that book needs to be gone. And also I somehow need to deal with these 2 dervishes, because I won't be able to get to the book without getting free strikes if they are still there. So on my turn I feed, so I get the free charges. On the left zone I leave Rug behind the forest. He's pretty safe there against all charges, but this turns out to maybe be a mistake later on, and I put one of the whelps there so it contests. On the other hand, I only put the one whelp there to contest the zone, and then I move Malk up. I put Rage on him. No, I didn't put Rage on him. I used him actually already before the feat, and his task was actually to smash both of these dervishes. I just wanted to get a critical hit so they fly away, but he didn't manage to get any critical hits, so I just had to use all of his fury and just destroy these 2 little annoying things. The Exar from the left side charges the dervish and gets to make 1 hit. I think I don't break anything, and it is allowed to move away because one of his Vessel of Menoth solos put a living on him. So instead of destroying the dervish with the Exar, I'm only able to put some damage into the castigator that is standing there. The bouncer also charges forward and puts all of his 5 attacks into the book, because the book needs to go. He is lucky and hits all of them, so 5 times 1 damage is enough to destroy the book. And after that I charge in the Earthborn with Rage. He rolls pretty good and he's able to destroy the other Crusader. On his turn he moves the Castigator up to the Exar and throws the Exar at the Bouncer, so both of them are knocked down. Then he moves up Amon and he has the Exar, the Bouncer and the Earthborn in reach of his chain weapon, so he feeds and starts buying Flashing Blades. All of the focus that is spent he can pass over to Jax, and he starts loading up his Templar and his left Crusader that are left standing. When he is finished with the Flashing Blades, all of my 3 beasts are at single-digit health, so he has no problems removing them with the 4 light Warjacks he is standing there, and he also moves the 2 dervishes into the way, so I won't get to his caster that easily. Then he charges the Mauler with his Templar, starts hitting him. The beatback does not trigger because the Mauler is already in base to base with the stone behind him, and he's also not able to kill him because he's on armor 20 under the stone aura. Then he activates his Crusader on the left side, that is on 3 focus, and moves up to Malk. He hits him and he gets a retaliatory strike, and this time Malk actually crits for once and slams him back. So he is still in reach, but he's knocked down, so his activation ends. And I had really much luck here, because if he would have been able to kill either Malk or my Mauler, then I would have been in trouble. On my round I move Malk up, so I'm in melee range of the Castigator and also in melee range of the Crusader, and I start hitting the Crusader until I finally get a critical hit with the Rune Club, and I slam the Crusader across both of the dervishes. So all 3 of them are knocked down, and also that was the final damage I needed to kill the Crusader, so there are only 2 knockdown dervishes now. I'm able to put 1 or 2 more hits into the Castigator, but I don't get a slam here. Then I move the stone unit up in a small circle in my zone and put Doomshaper behind it. I also move up Ruck, so everything he might use to attack that stone unit will be killed in the next round by Ruck. I should have gotten him out behind that forest far earlier, because if I would have had him in the middle of the board in this round, I could have ended this game here and now. My Mauler attacks the Templar. He hits with both of his initial attacks. That means he gets a chain attack, which he uses to throw the Templar at the Vigilant, knocking both of them down, and also the Templar is put behind the Vigilant because I didn't hit him and he deviated to the back. So everything is in the way of the Templar now, which is good. Then I start attacking the first of the dervishes and kill him, get my overtake move, kill the second dervish, and then go into melee with the Vigilant. In the right zone I still have my single whelp sitting, so he can't score here, and on the left zone the whelp behind Malk is just within the zone behind the forest in base to base with Malk, so he might have problems removing him easily. At this point my opponent starts to think for a bit. What he's saying right away is that he actually wanted to do an assassination run on me this round, but that is not possible anymore, because he needed his Templar to remove at least 2 of my stone scribes, so he can charge Doomshaper with the light that he has left. That is now not possible anymore because the Templar is too far back behind Amon, behind the light that is supposed to charge, behind the Vigilant, and there is an angry Mauler right in front of him. He can not clear enough from the zones to score enough points to win this, and he also thinks he cannot remove enough of my beasts. He might be able to kill Malk, but that is not really sure. He will be able to kill the Mauler on the right side, but he won't have very many activations left after that, so he can maybe put 1 of the lights into my stone unit after that. But that leaves me at 2 heavies, one of them with a damage buff, and also probably with a free charge lane to his caster. So he concedes this game and we shake hands. I'm not sure by what I won, but I would put this down to potential assassination. I was a bit surprised that my feed turn was not the turn I did most of the work, and actually in all of my 3 games with Doomshaper it has never been the turn that I do most of the work. My opponents always take care to position themselves far back, so I cannot reach them with everything that I would like to reach them. Maybe I need to put everything in a straight line and then just charge forward as soon as I feed. But in this game, feeding to get some cheap stuff into his face and make him deal with that, while I set up the heavy hitters behind that for a counter charge as soon as he cleared up the first beasts, was pretty effective, I think. I still need to find out how to correctly play Rook, I think, because either I play him too far forward and he just dies, or I put him somewhere behind a forest or somewhere out of harm's way where I don't get him into play. On the other hand, so far it has always been advantageous for me to keep Rook back until the end game and then just hit all of his stuff at once and kill lots and lots of units and jacks on the other side, or in this case threaten to do so. So I'm not really sure what to do here. Well, it was another really nice game. I had lots of fun. I learned more about my list, what it can do, and I also learned some more things about my playstyle and what I should do to get better. So again, thank you for watching this. If you have any comments, tips for me, changes for my playstyle, comment below and I will be sure to read it.